Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Power. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright? Now look, so for this one, I'm gonna be telling y'all about my boy Tutu. Rest in peace to my boy Tutu, you know. Alright, so y'all know I gotta come from the top so it makes sense. So I done told y'all about my hood, how we split in half, half of us under the five, half of us under the six, right? Well, my boy Tutu, he was under the five, you know what I'm saying? And me and my crew, we was under the six, But the crazy thing about my hood, you know, we was beefing, but at the same time, we was still family. You know what I'm saying? Like, little did we know our people fucked with each other. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of was like not on all of that shit with each other. We really just didn't like each other, because we was from two different sides. So basically, if you see one or two of the guys, from the five, they come down the block or whatever, they usually the neutral guys. Because, the guys that be on that tip, we don't mix and mingle on each other blocks. You know what I'm saying? So it was like we just showed that type of respect for each other. So it was like we didn't have beef like that, but, just niggas didn't like each other type shit. So with Tutu, he was under the five, but it was a girl that stayed on our block, little light skinned girl. I forgot her name, you know what I'm saying? But she was beautiful, you know what I'm saying? And Tutu, he got on, you know what I'm saying? Now, Tutu always fucked with us, you know what I'm saying? Even before all of that, picking side shit came about, Tutu always fucked with us. But he was from that side, you know what I'm saying? So when all that shit was going on, Tutu would come on the block every day. You know what I'm saying? And he had come to us, the guys under the six. And he had come to us every time. And, we all, slap hands and shit, what's the deal, kiki with each other, all of that. Tutu was a honey. He fucked with us, you know what I'm saying? And it was like that with guys on their side and guys on our side. It was neutral guys and then it was guys that wasn't trying to talk. You know what I'm saying? But Tutu was one of the neutral guys, but he was on that tip, but he fucked with us too, at the same time. So it was always love when he came on the block. Like, we had nothing but love for Tutu because he fucked with us. So he'll always chop it up with us for about good 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And then he'll go on here and walk down the street to girl house and he'd be out there fucking with her. You know, that was his daily routine, and she kept him out of trouble, but he was in too deep, you know what I'm saying? So, long story on all that, some of the guys under the fire, they ended up, sliding on the other side of the mile, where beef was at. They had a spot over there. Um, we ended up pulling up to the crib one night, at they spot on the outside, you know what I'm saying? We pulled up to their party one night, me and my homeboy, you know. So we pulled up, they had a party at their crib, that they had on the outside, They was having a party at the crib. So we pulled up and shit, and the guys came out, and these the guys under the five, But like I said, we was cool with each other. It was just guys didn't like each other, but we was still cool. You know what I'm saying? So we pulled up on them, you know, because them our boys. You know what I'm saying? So we always had to check because they on the other side now. You know what I'm saying? So we still got to come through and show love. Even though, like I said, guys from different sides, but them still our guys. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, we on two different sides, but them our guys. You know what I'm saying? So it was that night. Me and my mans pulled up and they was having a party. And they came out to the car. Me and my mans, we sitting in the car and shit, right? We smoking and shit. They came out to the car. We kicking in shit. We talking shit. They like, we having a party up in here. Why don't y'all come through? Whoop de whoop. You know, I looked over at my mans. I'm like, shit. What you think? He like, man, nah, I'm cool. I looked over to bro. I'm like, nah, we good, bro. It was like, all right, he like, shit, if y'all don't got nothing to do, y'all always can slide back through. It's all love. Whoop de whoop. I'm like, big, you know what I'm saying? Good looking. So they went back in the crib. We pulled off. When we pulled off, we went back to our side of 7 Mile. You know what I'm saying? When we got back on our side, we pieced it out. We called it a night. It was about like 2 o'clock, maybe 2, 3 in the morning by this time. You know what I'm saying? So I dropped him off. I went to the crib, called it a night. You know what I'm saying? By 7 a.m., my phone going off. Text messages. You know what I'm saying? Back to back, back to back, back to back. This shit woke me up out of my sleep. You know what I'm saying? So I get up, I look at my phone, and it's messages, from my homeboy. And he was from For Life Hood. You know what I'm saying? And my hood was beefing with them. Like, it was crazy, but like I said, we all the same hood. You know what I'm saying? We all 7 Mile niggas. We just from different areas of 7 Mile, but we all the same niggas. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it was just crazy that bro was from For Life Hood. You know what I'm saying? And he takes me and he like, bro, Tutu dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? I'm looking at the messages like, what the fuck? I called him. What up? You know what I'm saying? He like, yeah, bro. He got killed last night. Whoop de whoop. I'm like, where? You know what I'm saying? He like, at that spot. Man, I banged the line. Boom. I hopped in the whip. Psh, I went and picked my mans up that I was just with. That I said we just left that house. You know what I'm saying? Just left that bitch. You know, we shot over there. Psh, sure enough. That same crib we was just at that night, just a few hours before. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like 5 hours later. You know what I'm saying? We up and over here at the scene. And sure enough, that's where he was at. So basically after me and my mans left, the ops came through. And supposedly what was said was they threw a brick through the window. And when they threw a brick through the window, the guys came running out the crib. You know what I'm saying? And Tutu was the first one to come out. And when he came out, they lit him up. You know what I'm saying? Took my mans out the game. And after that, the boys went to war, and it was what it was from there. But yeah, man, left my mans right there on the porch, you know. And the whole hood, we was sick about that. It was a loss. It was a hell of a loss. But that was my man's. Tutu was my bro. And it was a blessing that we didn't stay. You know what I'm saying? Because if we stayed, we could have got caught up in some shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how God work. You know what I'm saying? But we just seen the guys the night before. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a couple hours. And then some shit just popped off. And that shit was sad. I miss my dog. He was one of the homies for sure. I miss bro. He was 100. He came to the block every day. You know what I'm saying? He came and kicked it with us every single day. No lie. You know what I'm saying? I got guys that'll tell it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for sure. Like, yeah, he was on the block with us every day. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of crazy shit going on. But he fucked with us. and we was just over there, just checking, making sure the guys are straight. You know what I'm saying? We was calling it a night, and just so happened they was having a party, and right after we left, damn party got shot up, and Tutu got killed. On that same porch. Crazy as hell, man. So the lesson behind this, you know, don't be so quick, to be a part of large parties and things like that because it's a lot of shit going on out here, and 1 minute you could be here, next minute you could be gone. So be cautious of the parties you partake in, and the places you be and the people you be with. You know what I'm saying? Because man, just like that, a tragedy can happen, and it could be you. It's been another episode of Roll Up a Pull Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.